Tameside Radio Sports Talk with Betfred. Visit your local Betfred shop today for a variety of great offers and check out our app for great features like Pick Your Punt Builder. Whenever you bet, Betfred. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Hello and welcome. This is Sports Talk with me, Lewis Connell. And as always, I'm joined by Peter Spencer from Betfred. How you doing today, Peter?
Yeah, great. Thanks very much.
We'll start with the Premier League. Obviously, Manchester United winning 2-1 against Sheffield United. Wasn't the most convincing win, but it was all about the 3 points after that, obviously, sad passing of the legend that is Sir Bobby Charlton.
Yeah, it's starting with Sir Bobby. I did meet him a few times. He's such a humble guy. He always found time for journalists. And he just approached him and asked him anything you wanted to know. He kind of shied away from controversy, but he always had plenty to say. When he spoke, you sort of listened intently. I remember asking him about the impact of Wayne Rooney at Old Trafford and how he predicted that Wayne Rooney would overtake his number of goals for England and his number of caps. And he paid tribute to Wayne Rooney in the nicest possible way. Wayne Rooney has a controversial past in his so-called private life, but Sir Bobby didn't want to get into any of that. He just wanted to talk about football, and football is what mattered to him. And Manchester United mattered more than anything else. He always looked so distinguished as well. He'd always wear his United blazer with a red tie, of course, and a white shirt. No, so he didn't even wear a blue shirt. He just wore a white shirt, United blazer, grey slacks as he'd call them, black brogue shoes, and looked impeccable.
And obviously, you've seen when Rooney did eventually break that record, he was the first man to obviously congratulate him. I think a few people wouldn't have took so fondly to someone breaking the record, but he was happy for him.
Yeah, I think a lot to do with that was because he played for United. But there again, he's just a great guy. I mean, he's just not. I've been looking at the tributes, and some papers after a few days sort of like dig up the odd bits and bobs about him. But he's just a fantastic person and a fantastic footballer, of course. And I was only a young fella when England won the World Cup, but I do remember those goals against Portugal in particular, the long range efforts.
And obviously it was the 3 points in the end. It wasn't the greatest first half for United, but they got there in the end, and obviously it was a great goal to win it eventually from Diogo Dalot. Yeah,
it was a spectacular effort, and I think it's a bit of a sad reflection that no forward scored again, and United do seem to just dig out the 3 points when it kind of matters, because if they've lost that, there would have been a lot of pressure again on the manager.
And of course, they're still 8 points off the top 4, I believe. If Spurs do win, they'll go top, of course, and you would expect the top 4 to sort of stay as it is. Yeah,
the bottom line is that Betfred think it will be those top 4 teams. As we sit here this morning, we think that it'll be City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Spurs, and possibly in that order as well at the end of the season. For a top 4 finish, you can forget about City, they're 1 to 50, and then Arsenal 2 to 9, same as Liverpool, Spurs 11 to 10, and then up come Newcastle United 3 to 1. But interestingly, to win the Premier League outright, City are now 8 to 13 to retain the title. Liverpool 9 to 2, Arsenal 5 to 1, Spurs 12 to 1. United, they stayed the same, 80 to 1. Newcastle 33 to 1. Aston Villa, they're the big movers, 66 to 1 now to go on and win the Premier League outright.
And you mentioned Man City there. They obviously won 2-1 as well against a slightly better opposition in Brighton, and Erling Haaland was among the goals again.
Yeah, there's no surprise there, but I thought it was interesting that Pep Guardiola praised the Brighton manager and said that he could potentially take over from him one day. There's quite a few queuing up that he praises in this way as well, just before the match. I don't know whether it's kind of getting into the head of these people, but anyway, City, I won't say they struggled, but it was a little bit of a bigger test for them, and the bottom line is they won and got the 3 points.
And just touching on the Premier League relegation as well, obviously Luton getting that really impressive point really away to Forest, 2-2 that was in the end, and if they can keep grinding out results like that, they might have a chance.
Yeah, we still have them right in there though. Betfred have Sheffield United as the favourites now for relegation after the defeat by Manchester United. So we have Sheffield United 1-6, Luton, as you say, rallied a little bit. They're 1-5 now. Bournemouth, they're struggling, 5-4 to be relegated. Burnley also struggling, 13-8. Everton, quite a half-decent performance against Liverpool, but still lost. They're 11-4 for the big drop. And then we got Forest and Wolves and Fulham all 6-1.
Just touching on the Champions League, that's back this week. United are at home to Copenhagen in an absolutely must-win game. I don't know if it's mathematically certain that they'll be out if they lose, but it's not looking likely if they do.
No. Well, I think that game will be overshadowed somewhat by the tribute to Sir Bobby, and rightly so. But Betfred have United 3-10 to go on and win that game. Copenhagen 7-1. But as you rightly say, to win the Champions League is looking way, way beyond Manchester United at the moment. The 40-1 shots, even at this group stage. City 2-1 favourites, Bayern Munich 9-2, Betfred have Real Madrid 7-1, Arsenal 9-1, Barcelona 10-1, PSG 16-1, and then Newcastle 20-1, United 40-1 as I say, and Celtic 500-1.
And obviously Rasmus Højlund will be playing against his former club in that one. He's our top scorer, I believe, in the Champions League with 2. So, he's not got much competition, but he'll be looking to get on the score sheet again. Yeah.
Well, he's favourite to score the first goal. The prices will be out soon on that, but he'll be looking to put one over his old mates.
And the other Manchester club, Man City, they will be away to Young Boys in Switzerland, and that should be a routine one for them.
Yeah, City 1-6 with Betfred to go on and win that. Young Boys 12-1, draw 5-1. I can see that this might be a game where Guardiola starts putting in some of his squad players, because they don't really need to win this game to carry on with their qualification, and it's a great opportunity to test these squad players from the excellent academy at City in a European competition.
And of course the Manchester derby upcoming on Sunday, so he won't want to be playing his best team for that.
No, be interesting to see whether he plays Phillips, because he struggles to get into the team even when they play a weakened team. As I said before, I think the writing's on the wall for him.
Definitely. And moving on to the Rugby Union World Cup now. England obviously out of the competition after that disappointing 1-point defeat against South Africa.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking really. Been overshadowed a little bit by an apparent racist slur made by a South African against Curry. But I do feel that they'll clamp down hard on that. I can see him being banned from the final. You wouldn't imagine that from a South African as well. I mean, considered what that country's gone through. So New Zealand 5-6 with Betfred to win the World Cup final in France. South Africa, they're evens, but it was heartbreaking to lose on 1 point. But it's happened the other way. England have won by the odd point in the past, and I thought it was great how Farrell responded to the media afterwards and paid tribute to South Africa in the way they went about the business and never, ever, ever gave up. And it was a bad day for England because in the Cricket World Cup we got absolutely hammered by South Africa. So as I predicted, it was going to be South Africa's day. They won in the cricket and also just about won in the semi-final of the Rugby Union World Cup.
No doubt England will have slipped down the odds in the Cricket World Cup as well as a result of that.
Well, you can say that again. I mean, we're the holders of this, would you believe? That team does look quite old now and needs refreshing big time. I think there's been too much loyalty shown to various players. Anyway, Betfred out of India, 10-11 to go on and win that. I mean, they look unstoppable. South Africa 9-2. Same price as Australia, they're coming back into it now. New Zealand 11-2, Pakistan 16-1. Well, England 22-1, just holding on in there, ahead of Sri Lanka 300-1, Afghanistan 350-1, Bangladesh 500-1, and then we've got the Netherlands, everyone's second favourite team, 1,000-1 to win the Cricket World Cup.
They're definitely the underdogs then for that one. Well, thank you very much as always for joining us, Peter. Really appreciate that. And if you do fancy a bet, you can bet online on the app or in Betfred stores, and we'll see you at the same time on Friday.
Excellent, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Tameside Radio Sports Talk with Betfred. Visit your local Betfred shop today for a variety of great offers and check out our app for great features like Pick Your Punt Builder. Whenever you bet, Betfred. 18+, begambleaware.org.